Gamers, I was feeling a little bit curious about the damage structure of how, damage buffs work, how they increase your damage, how well they stack, the sort of diminishing returns that you get whenever you have multiple different buffs that you're getting. And so I decided to, do it myself because there's a lot of leaks saying that this game's going to come out, in like 2 months or however long, like it's almost here. So it's good to take a look at these numbers and understand how they work for when the game releases, because it's highly likely that these numbers are going to stay the exact same, and the way that they scale and the way that they have diminishing returns are also going to most likely stay the exact same. It's probably not going to change at all, so it's good to at least see it now, so whenever you get the game you can try it out yourselves and know how to build your characters early on. All right, so first off, all of my testing is going to be using a base value of 228. All right, so I'm using a G1, and the first hit is what I'm gauging. So I walk up to the robot boss, the mech abomination. I hit him one time, it's hitting for 228 damage, right? So after that, this is going to be our calculations right there of how we are getting these numbers below. And what's important is the bird and the echo. Now it says impermanence, heron, and moonlit clouds is what I'm using. So if we see here moonlit clouds, it gives you, after using outro skill, the attack of the next resonator to enter the field increases. So there you go. That gives you a damage boost, and we will go over how much that really is in a little bit. But other than that, we also have this, which is the impermanence heron, which if we scroll down and we see the echo ability here, just skip all this. You just need to see the bottom. Damage increase effect to the next character on stage. And we can also see how much that is too, since I did all of that math for you. You can see that our damage goes from 228 up to 353 only using the bird. All right, so that means that we have a total increase of 55 damage. All right, so the bird gives us a 55% increase in damage. The echo set, the 5p set, gives us a 59% increase in damage. And these two, the alto and the verena, now what are those? Now if we go back to the game real quick, this character right here, also known as alto, his outro skill increases the effects of wind damage. It increases aereo damage by 30%. Now I've learned that it's not actually 30%, but that's what it gave us, and it lasts for 14 seconds. Not sure how long it actually lasts, but that's the main thing that I'm focusing on. Whenever I have this guy's name here, Alto, I'm referring to his outro effect. Same thing when it comes to Verena. Her outro effect increases attack percent, but it also, well, just increases attack, but it doesn't say by how much. It says increases by 15 seconds over 30 seconds, which is also incorrect. So if these numbers, if they wanted it to be 15%, then that's something that I have to look at, because right now, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at Verena. Let me get my pen again. We're looking at Verena getting up to 92% increase in damage, and for Alto's outro being 76% increase in damage. Now, that's a lot more than what it says it is, isn't it? Keep that in mind, that these damage numbers right here, the outro skills, even though they are worded incorrectly, if these numbers stay the same, they are going to do way more than these. All right. The numbers that we're getting from our echo ability and our echo set are vastly smaller than the actual bonuses from using our outro skills. And if we go down from there, we can see that we have the calculate buff loss. So this is whenever you're stacking multiple buffs at a time. I've done a couple of them here to get a kind of gauge at it. Whenever you do multiple buffs at a time, you're going to have diminishing returns, obviously. So if we go here, we see that if we use a bird and an echo, that's going to have a 72% increase in damage, which is 36% decrease of if we would have just combined the two. Meaning if we did like 55 plus 59 and we added them together, we are losing out on 37% of the damage that we would have gotten just by adding those two together. So that is the decrease that we are getting from that. If we go down here, we add Verena and Alto, which are two outros. We have 131% increase in damage, which is a 22% loss, meaning that the bird and the echo, that has a higher percent lost whenever combining them compared to two outros. Two outros apparently are higher buff numbers. All right, so you're gonna want to always have your outros combined together because they're gonna be a higher number than just your bird and your echo. And when you combo them, they're going to have a lower decrease than if you would have combined a bird and an echo. All right, we can see that here it's going to be a higher decrease because we were combining the bird and the echo. All right, and we see up here that has a higher decrease too. So combining this with that, it just makes the decrease number higher. All right, so if we go down here, we can also see that the decrease is slightly lower even though we're combining two buffs because the decrease for these two are already lower since it's a 22% there. So if we combine all three of them, so we combine these two, and we use all of them together, we see that these make the decrease higher and these make the decrease lower, settling us right here, which is almost, it's a little bit more of a decrease than if we had the bird and the echo. So what does this all mean? Why is Cammy spouting all this math stuff? Well, let's not worry about the decrease, all right? That's just a little extra if people want to math it out. You know, you want to know, okay, if you use an echo ability combined with an echo set, it's going to be lowers. So the diminishing returns, it's better to just go two echoes. If you somehow need to make the choice of whether or not you want to run a echo set and a echo ability together, or if you want to run two outros together, just do the two outros. Oh, I did this wrong. I spelled this wrong. This is outro. The outros have a lower decrease than the ability and the set does. Sorry if this is a bit confusing because of my speech. I'm trying to make this understandable. You can see here as well, I put the numbers 21% worse, 22% worse. So the two outros are way better. Now, why is this important? So it is extremely important, even though we are getting these decreases in our gains, it's not substantial enough for you to not stack them on top of each other. Because if we look here, this is a 72% increase in damage just by running the bird and the echo. All right. So here we are getting almost double the amount of damage increased. All right. Whenever it gets to 100%, that's when we're seeing double damage. And if you're looking ahead, you can see that increases by a lot going down. But just a bird and an echo, we are getting 72% increase in damage. If we run two outros and combine them, we're getting 131, which is over double your amount of damage. Okay, that is over double the amount of damage that you're getting. Now, if we go down even more, this is a little bit less. That's only because we are combining one outro with one echo set and one echo ability, which is the bird's ability, which is giving us a 111 increase in damage, which is still over double the amount of damage you are already putting out. Now, if we combine the echo and the two outros, so the echo set and the two outros, without having the bird ability, echo ability, we are seeing 2.5 times your damage. If you want to see here, this is also a number you can refer to right there. But this is 2.5 times more damage, right? 2.5 times more damage than you're already doing, almost 3 times. If we go down here and we have the bird, the echo, and the two outros combined with each other, you are getting almost 3 times more damage. So it is imperative for you to run all of these together. The more that you can run together, the better. The most important thing to run together are two outros that can combine with each other. The echo set combining with each other, that is still good. That's way better than running a bird echo ability and the echo set. That's going to give diminishing returns way more. This is the two outros. You're going to get a lot higher number, almost the 174. So it is way better to run two outros than it is to run the bird ability and the echo set, which I've said so many times. Now that we went over those numbers, now let's see what that means in game. So for this, you can see I'm running this set. This is the exact same everything. I haven't leveled anything up from my tests. This is the exact same everything. All right, I'm gonna still be running this, and I'm gonna be running this on him. So, the first run, I'm not going to switch characters at all. What is the maximum amount of damage I can do without having any of my buffing outros or any echo sets or anything like that? So this is going to be my first run. I'm not going to completely kill him just because I don't want him to despawn and then have to, teleport around and wait again. I'm just going to get him as dead as possible, and I'm going to time it for you. And there's going to be a little bit of human error when doing this. Maybe I hit an ability off whenever I could have not hit an ability off, so on and so forth. But I'm just going to try to chunk them down as quickly as possible. We're gonna tank this. Just trying to get as much damage as we can. I should have charged it up a little bit. This is fine. Alright, time. We would have just killed him there. All I needed was one more hit. My outro skills, this one is charged, but these two are not charged. So, this is going to be a straight up raw demonstration of how much damage output this increases. Whoop. Now you just want to, when you're playing these characters, charge up your outro as quickly as possible. And I started with Verena first because hers says that it lasts 30 seconds. I'm not sure the exact time, but that's what it says. And that doesn't matter if it hits him or not. There we go. And with that. And you can see that his health is going down a little faster. Just a slight bit faster than before. And there you go. As you can tell, it's a little worth to maybe spec out your supports. So yeah, whenever switching them out, the main thing, the reason that I was able to do that so well, I was saying before, this outro, if this time is correct, which it feels correct, this lasts 30 seconds, so you want to use that one first. It seems like that's what they're going to do with most supports, is make that last the longest amount of time. So you want to do your longest lasting one first, which is most likely going to be your support, followed by your next one, which is your sub DPS, which also has a damage increasing outro skill, so that your main DPS will get both of those stacked on top of each other, including, I'm also running this guy with the Moonlight set because the Moonlight set only buffs the next person in rotation. So the sub DPS, which goes second, needs to have this and not the healer. Now, I also have this to increase it as well, which just keeps stacking, stacking, stacking. And then we can switch to this guy. He has every single buff in the world stacked on top of him, and he can just shred everything. So thank you guys for coming and watching. Hopefully you learned something. I stream almost every day in the morning times, US Central. So yeah, Johnny.